Well, hello everyone.
Now try.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special DMZ America podcast. We are going to try a little experiment by commenting on tonight's debate between President Biden and former President Donald Trump live. And we'll see how this goes. It may, if the setup is any indication, it's going to be a catastrophe. But we're drinking wine, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I'm Scott Stantis, editorial cartoonist, coming to you from the right. We are joined by Ted Rall,
Editorial cartoonist, joining you too from the left. And first of all, a thank you to Elon Musk and Boeing for supplying the technology for tonight's podcast.
The doors
and Norfolk Southern. Cheers.
Cheers. And we're joined by the co-host of the Final Countdown on Sputnik Radio, one of the best radio shows on the air. And I'm not kidding about this. I've said it publicly. I'll say it privately. And I'll even say it on the DMZ America podcast, which is pretty much saying it privately. Angie Wong. Angie, thanks for joining us.
That's a great way of bringing me in. You know what? I just came on because I'm able to drink with you guys. What other show would be so alcohol friendly, right?
I was on WGN Radio, and my friend Patty Vasquez had a show from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. and she would bring in, restaurateurs and bartenders and stuff, and we would drink a lot. And then the management told us to stop, which was just, it's a family station. That was their argument. How crazy is
they've never heard of families having alcoholics in them?
Yeah, functional alcoholics. That's the point. So we're setting up. We're watching the CNN, the talking heads. We're being talking heads. We're going to be. By the way, does anyone know the rules of this thing? Has anyone bothered to check what they're going to do?
Well, I think the rules are going to be explained. I don't know how long each candidate has. My impression is that it's going to be a back and forth on the same question. I don't know exactly what the format's going to be. That hasn't been revealed, right, Angie?
I was actually going to ask if they were going to are they going to walk on stage at the same time and shake hands, or are they just going to go to their podiums?
I would imagine they'll walk on stage at the same time and shake hands. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be like the different speeds of like Donald Trump versus shuffling Biden? And then, no, they did a coin toss. They did a coin toss where I think Biden goes first, or he has some sort of free get out of jail free card. And then, and Trump gets the last word. Trump gets the last word. That's what that's what we've heard.
Yeah, it's going to be, this is, I did a little thing on Center Clip today, a little audio clip, and just saying that this is all on Biden. Donald Trump has shown we're not going to learn anything new. We're not going to see anything different unless he collapses. I don't see this affecting Trump's standing one bit, but this is huge, huge stakes for Biden.
Yeah. Have you seen photos of Biden today or in the last couple of days? There's photos online right now of Joe Biden in his suit, and he was greeting some well-wishers, I guess. He looks about 20 pounds heavier than last week. Yeah, it's really weird. So let's see if we can see a little bulge happening on stage, because that's the conspiracy theory going on right now, that he's so juiced up he gained 20 pounds.
Well, meanwhile, maybe there's a law of conservation of total weight of presidential nominees, because Trump seems to have lost about 20 pounds recently. So, maybe Biden ate them or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. So they're saying steroids, huh?
You think? I don't know. 20 pounds of steroids, and
that's
I don't know
a lot.
Well, when was the last time we saw Joe Biden in public? Well, clearly for Normandy.
Over a week ago.
Yeah.
No, more than a week. And that's been my complaint about this president. We knew who Trump was. We knew who Obama was. We knew who Bush was. We knew who, because, you saw them on a regular, I still, almost 4 years into this term, I still have no sense of Joe Biden. Does that make sense?
Yeah. We don't know what he stands for. We don't really know what he looks like. Apparently they're body doubles. Well, I guess that's typical. No, that is typical.
Well, we don't know. I think Scott means personally, right? Like, we don't know, like,
what Ted brings up.
What kind of music does he like?
Yeah, what does he
Yeah.
listen to? What is
Like,
he?
I kind of know
yeah.
what kind of
What does
music
he listen
Obama
to?
claims to like. He likes Jay-Z. He likes the Beatles. I mean, we kind of know he likes Lauryn Hill.
He does?
I think so. Yeah. And we know what kind of music Bill Clinton likes. Bluegrass. Actually, I don't know what kind of music Bush likes. I assume country.
It was country. Yeah.
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 So, but we don't know that about this president. That's what's weird. I mean, we're entering waters that we have never entered before. I mean, just in the weirdness alone.
All right, we're 5 minutes before debate, so we should. I think what are we each looking for? Scott, what are you looking for from each of these candidates?
I'm telling you, I'm still going to see that Trump, from all reports, is taking this about as seriously as he took the other debates. He's going to be the same. It's going to be the same performance. This is 98.7% on Joe Biden. He's got to look like he can, form a cohesive sentence. He can, look at that. He's going to be standing up for 90 minutes. He couldn't do that at Normandy.
He's got to be sharp. He's got to be, look, I don't know if he can memorize a bunch of stupid factoids. I've always thought that the stupid factoids were overrated in these presidential debates. But I don't know, that might be one way that he can differentiate himself from former President Trump. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Angie, what do you think? Do you agree with Scott? It's mainly, this is a referendum on whether Joe Biden is sentient.
Oh man, we all fell for it. I mean, you guys know that this is a performance, right?
For
Like
sure.
this is just something that they just have to do. It's perfectly scripted. What I hate is that all the rules were tossed out. The rules, you know who made them up? CNN and maybe the DNC. I mean, it is so controlled, and that's kind of what the Biden administration has been. It's all about control. Controlling
Wow.
you, controlling him, controlling the media, as best as you can. And here it is again, this fake presidential debate that is being controlled. And Donald Trump went for it. I mean, I don't know why, because he clearly must know that this is just a performance. Imagine just two Shakespearean actors going on CNN. This is the Globe Theater right here, right? Because none of this is actually real, and we kind of, we play along with it like, oh yeah, we have elections. This is like the debate, you know?
Well, Angie, let me ask you, you're in the trenches of this kind of thing. You run campaigns, you're active in campaigns. When you have a candidate, what do you tell them when they have debates?
Oh gosh, yeah, no, I mean, when we do local debates, it really does matter because it comes down to like, Aunt Betty living down the street whose garbage is not getting picked up, or, like street signs, and so you have to know your stuff. Here, I think President Trump's agenda here is really to meet people in the middle. He's going to be a very, very
Mhm.
soft Republican today. He's not going to be MAGA Trump. He's going to be more like Park Avenue Trump. He needs to pull Joe Biden's audience to him. And here's like what an amazing opportunity for Democrats who would never, ever, ever listen to Trump ever in their lives. They would just go like this, right?
Right.
It hurts their ears. And now they're being forced to listen to Trump for probably the first time ever. I bet he's going to be able to sway a couple of
Ooh.
Democrats.
I had not considered that, but you're absolutely right. The numbers on this that they're talking leading up to this debate are astronomical. The numbers are going to be through
This
the
is
roof.
going to be the most watched presidential debate in history, which is, by the way, exactly in 1 minute.
Oh,
Just so you know.
good. Well, more
So
time to drink.
yes, for sure. No, I think that I think also calling it early turned out to be a really wise move for the network, right? I think there's going to be a lot of ads.
Oh, we're watching all the ads right now. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, this is
Um,
big money for CNN for
yeah,
sure.
for
And
sure.
they've been able to cross promote. I was watching Fox, and they struck deals with Fox and all the other networks. Like they keep having to call it the CNN presidential debate on
Yep.
Fox.
Oh, well, it says
But-
it on the sign behind the podiums. Go
Yeah,
ahead, I'm
but
sorry.
think about it. Like every single news network around the world will be playing these
All right,
clips
I'm going to
tomorrow.
asking you to unmute. I don't know if I'm the host. It looks, but
You're
anyway.
the host, Ted. You are
Well,
the
I'm
host.
asking to unmute. It says, I'm asking to unmute. Why is it not
So
letting
you have
me
to
unmute?
run in the other room and unmute it, I guess.
Oh my God, really? Okay.
Isn't that why you have a son?
Can you put some pants on?
He does not.
Does
If
he
you've
like
ever
just-
stayed at Casa Roll, there are no pants. It's a pants optional environment.
Man, I think him and my son would get along famously. Oh, by the way, you guys,
We've
do you
got
like
some
my
low,
new...
this is some seriously lo-fi.
Still can't hear it. Can't hear it.
Oh no. Scott, do you like... Oh,
There it is. You got it.
The race for the White House. In just moments, the current U.S. president will
we
debate
go.
the former U.S. president.
so should we
as
just
their
talk
parties
over
to
CNN?
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
of
Okay.
first
How's that?
in American history. We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and around the world. To our studios in
I feel like
Atlanta.
we're watching
This
like
is
the
CNN
JFK
presidential debate.
Nixon
debate because of the sound. It's so like old school.
I kind of like that we're louder than the audio from the
At least I
TV.
didn't know I was going to get exercise out of this event.
Is a pivotal moment between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's highest office. Each will make his case to the American people with just over 4 months until.
I don't know if I like her in white. That's kind of like
That's the
ominous.
Hillary Clinton suffragette thing.
Yeah, I don't think white works on set. You always,
No, you
No,
never
they
wear
always
white.
tell you never wear white.
Yep.
by the way,
Just
Angie's
lost the
wearing
Chinese
a
vote too.
The two candidates tonight.
Well, that's right. Isn't that like a bad luck?
Yes.
Is it? Well, yeah, it's what you wear. I know. Why am I
Perfect for
asking you,
Biden.
Ted?
On the right, a coin toss determined their positions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question.
Oh,
And 1
Jake.
minute each
Ooh,
for responses
I don't know
and
about that
rebuttals.
tie, man.
An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
Yeah, the discussions where the conservatives complain.
What do you think about those serious cuffs that Jake Tapper is wearing? That's like a little bit too short on that jacket and the waistcoat.
At the end of the debate,
I don't like the
each
tie.
candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statement.
God, you
There is
guys.
no studio audience.
What's the substance of the night? We didn't like Jake Typer's tie.
But that's the stuff people vote on.
Oh,
True.
you're not kidding. What do you think? What color tie would you have Donald Trump wear or Biden? Biden's going to wear that aquamarine thing.
Oh,
I
they're
think I
both
might
gonna
need
wear
some more
red.
volume, right?
Now,
I'm gonna
please
do it.
welcome the 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden.
Ooh,
Shuffle,
shuffly,
shuffle.
shuffly.
Shuffly. Huh. That was not an impressive
And
entrance.
please welcome the 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Also
Angie.
kind of like walrus-like.
He looks like he might eat Biden.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern.
Who's he
the
waving to?
economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President
He looks
Trump?
terrified.
You have to take a look at what I was left with, because what Mr. Trump left. We had an economy that was in free fall. Pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Let's inject a little bleach in your arm. Be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do was try to put things back together again. That's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out.
Ooh,
We
terrifying.
got 800,000 manufacturing jobs. There's more to be done. More to be done. Working class people.
That's bad. Frog in his throat is not what he needs right now.
Households where the kitchen table, the things weren't able to be met during the month was.
I can't believe they're actually doing this. Ted, we thought he was going to completely bail. He's there.
I'm working so hard to make
He should have
sure
bailed.
I deal with
Who should have bailed?
And we're gonna make
Biden.
sure
Joe
that we
Biden.
reduce the price of housing. We're gonna make sure we build 2 million new units. We're gonna make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination that was left in the corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now.
Oh,
In
boy.
addition to that, we're in a situation where if you had to take a look at all that was done in this.
Is that a face of confidence or what?
Didn't do much at all. By the time he
It's
left,
really
things were
not.
in chaos. It was literally chaos. And so we put things back together.
But then
We
you got like the
organized
high
those
school
jobs, we
bully
make sure we
next
have
to
a
him.
situation where we
Like,
now-
what is that
we
face
brought
that
down
Trump's
the price.
making?
Well, it's almost an orange
Fish.
off. If you look at the makeup for both these guys too, it's like,
Biden is
In
wearing-
honor of this, I'm drinking orange wine.
Yum. Thank you. That I love orange wine, by the way.
Good.
But I'm sorry, but Biden looks like he's wearing more makeup. Doesn't he look like that's how you would paint someone who's dead?
So we're working to bring down the price.
Maybe he's been on the beach in Rio, Beth.
oh, a fellow cartoonist just texted
Thank
me
you,
and says, it
President.
looks like Biden's about
We
to
had the
die.
greatest economy
it's
in the
bad.
history of our country. And we have never done so well.
All right, can I tweet at the same time? Do you guys
Amazed by
mind?
Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID. And when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in the Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that,
Wait, he's saying
given
Biden
them
created the COVID
a
mess?
country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody
Could
thought
be.
that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, the bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you, President Biden.
That's a good answer.
It is a good answer.
Economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that. I don't know anybody else thinks it's the greatest economy in the world. And, you know, fact of the matter is that we find ourselves in a situation where
What is wrong with his
this
throat? That
economy
I mean, he must just have a frog in his throat, right?
is
But
the
it's
largest
terrible.
tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president had in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who had a law school job that he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant in the military. You know, when he was president, they were still killing people.
they're not
Yes.
looking at each other.
He
This
did
is so
about
weird
that.
to me.
When
I
he was
mean,
president,
it's
we
like,
still found ourselves in
They
a
will,
position
they
where
will.
You had the notion that we were this safe country. Truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any, this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump,
Oh,
I
come-
want to follow up.
What's
that was
he
a war
talking
you
about?
inherited from your boss.
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
Not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay up a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back. And he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned,
See,
I was
it's
getting
just,
out of
it's Trump.
Afghanistan
It's
with
Trump being
dignity,
Trump.
with dignity,
He's just,
with strength,
you know,
with power. He got out.
Wow,
It was
that
the most
split
embarrassing
screen
thing
really
in the history
works.
of our country's life.
The
President
reaction is
Trump,
great.
over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis,
Bless you.
President Trump, your administration
Thanks.
approved $8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden.
Okay, who looks more presidential right now? I mean, just like by look.
look at Biden. Look at that posture. Look at the face. I mean, what the hell is Biden doing? He looks,
He looks
Yeah.
dead. He looks
He
actually
looks
like a
scared.
ghost.
And record debt. Why should top earners and corporations?
They should have put a
pay
little
less
bit of
taxes
sunshine
than
on
they
his
do now?
face. A
It's the
little bit
tax
of
cuts
bronzer would have
are
gone a
the
long
greatest
way.
economy that
I was
we've
gonna
ever
say they're
seen
both
since
kind of
prior to
orange. I
COVID.
mean,
And
Trump
even
is
after
particularly
COVID, we were
orange
so strong
tonight.
that we were able to get through COVID much
Biden's
better
kinda
than just
orange.
about any other country. But we spurred that
In that
tax
screen,
spurt down. When
I'm
we cut
watching
the
also
taxes,
on
for example, the,
CNN.com.
corporate taxes
They look
cut down
white.
21% from
Really
39%. Plus,
Well, let's be
beyond that,
honest.
we
Maybe
can
it's
get
just
more
something
revenue
about like the
with
way
much
my
less
phone
tax.
is
And companies were bringing
interpreting the
back
TV.
trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before. And we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet.
Okay.
We were going to have something.
He has said a
that
couple
nobody
things that
else has had.
Biden can
We
pounce
let
on
it
here.
go.
Let's see if he
We
does
did
it.
a lot to fix it. I gave him an
This is the debate right here.
situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people
Right now,
died
Biden looks like
under his
RFK Jr.
administration, even though we had
What?
largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it. Something which a lot of people don't like to talk about, but yet far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out, he did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States
Keep
anymore.
talking.
We're like a third world version between
I wanna see the mic
weaponization
get
of
cut
his
off.
election, trying to go after his political opponent. All of the things he's done, we've become like a third
Who
world.
got the
I would
better
love-
Botox?
And it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country.
Biden, you have to
and
admit,
I'd
the
love
work
to
he's
ask
had
him,
done
and
looks
will,
pretty
why he
good.
allowed billions of
Not
people
anymore.
to come in here from
He looks like
prisons, jails,
Skeletor.
and mental institutions
No, I think,
to
I
come
mean, he's
into our
81 years
country
old.
and
I mean,
destroy our
how
country.
great can you look?
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president for your period, number one.
Yeah,
Number
but
two,
here, honestly,
That's
that, yeah, part of it was tax cuts for the rich, but part of it was COVID stimulus.
what I'm gonna do is fix the tax, for example, we have 1,000
Oh,
trillion.
Ted, you and your facts.
Billion.
I mean,
What's happening?
look, I'm glad he did that. That was a good socialist program.
8.2% taxes. If they just paid 24%.
I want them to get mad. They're too nice to each
And they
other.
raised $500 million.
They're ignoring
billion
each other,
dollars
though. They're kind of
in a
like,
10-year period. You'd be able
I mean, I
to
wanna see
write about his debt
boxing.
and be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, childcare, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the
Donald Trump looked like he's been eating a lot of cheese the last few days, doesn't he?
dealing with everything we have to do.
Hey, I'm
There's
French.
nothing
Don't
wrong
dissing
with cheese. I eat
love-
cheese
oh,
every
fromage?
day.
Cheese is so good.
Thank you,
Oh,
President.
guys, do you like my
President
Donald Trump painting, by the
Oh
way?
my God,
I
who
put it up
did
for
it?
you.
Who is it? What is it?
Her name is Elena
Because all of
Ruskova.
these people are coming
She's
in.
Russian,
They're
and
putting
she
them
made
on
this
Awesome.
painting for me.
They're putting them on
Awesome.
social
I love
security.
it because
Really
Trump
don't-
hates dogs. And
It's
he's kissing
I
a dog.
destroys the
And he's such a
Social Security.
germaphobe that he
Millions
would
and
never do
millions of
that.
people coming in. They're trying to put them on social
it's art.
security. He will wipe out.
Oh man, I'm getting the
Social
Asian
Security. He
glow
will
from
wipe out
drinking already. I
Medicare.
just had 2
So
sips.
it's like when you finish that sentence, and it's a shame. What's happened to
Damn
our
Well,
French
Ted has the
wine.
French
in the
glow,
last
so
40
I'm
years
the only one.
is not
Just,
to be believed.
okay.
The foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people.
It's really
They cannot
unfortunate
believe
about
what
the camera
happened in
angle
the
right
United States of
on
America. We're no longer
Biden's comb
respected.
over.
They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think
He
we're
keeps
stupid.
looking
They think we're
down
very
as if there's
stupid people.
something there.
Yeah,
What we're
and
doing
dude, you
for
don't
other
have notes. You weren't
countries,
allowed to
and
bring
they do nothing
notes.
for
Right.
us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
He doesn't
This is what-
understand
this is
the
where-
timeline.
Yeah.
This is where
This is
Biden
the
has
first
to look.
presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the
No.
states.
Correct.
However,
No.
the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole
See?
question that you're
Pandering to
asking,
the middle.
the complex,
Pandering
but not
to-
really
You were
complex,
right. You were
51
Pandering
absolutely
to,
right. Very
to
You had Roe v.
middle-aged
Wade,
women,
and everybody
women in
wanted to get it
general.
back to the states, everybody, without exception.
No,
That's
this
so
is where
funny.
Biden-
Everybody
liberals,
wanted to go
conservatives,
back to the States. No, they
everybody wanted
didn't.
it back. Religious
Not everybody.
leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices
Wow,
on
that
the court,
scowl.
and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade.
What the hell's he
and
looking
moving it
at?
Back to the States. This is something
He's
that
at this point
everybody
on this issue.
Now,
This is
10
the
years
issue
ago
for
or so, they
Democrats.
started talking
Biden
about
should
how
be
many weeks and
glaring
Yeah, and he should
at
be
Donald
furious.
Trump.
Every legal scholar
Those
He
liver
should also
sloths.
be shaking his head no,
wanted it
right?
brought back
Yeah.
to the States. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If
And
you
what's
look
with
at
the
Ohio,
squint in the
it's
left eye and the
it
googly
was
right eye?
the end result, it was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought.
Maybe that's what
Kansas, I would
happens
say
in
the
your
same thing.
80s.
Texas is different. Florida is different.
Wow, this is
But they're all
Captain
making
Ahab.
their own decisions right now. And right now,
At this
the
point,
states
what is
control it. That's
RFK
the vote of
Jr.
the people.
saying?
Like Ronald Reagan,
He's like,
I
why the
believe in
fuck
the
am I not there?
exceptions.
Exactly.
I have 18.5.
Frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people you have to follow.
He's a
your
spring
heart. Some
chicken,
people
only
don't believe in
70.
that. But I believe in the exceptions for
what is
rape, incest, and the
what's his
life
name,
of
Oliver,
mother. I
the
think it's very
libertarian
important.
candidate? What's Jill
Some people
Stein
don't. Follow
thinking?
your heart, but you have to get elected.
We kick
also.
these guys'
And
ass. I mean,
because
she
that
would.
has
They
to do
would.
with other things. You
We
gotta
should
get
grab them
elected.
on the
The
podcast.
problem they
True.
have is they're
They should
erratic
be making
because they will
comments.
They
take
could
the
be
life
on your
of the
show. I
child
think they'd
in the
both
8th
be
month, the
excellent
9th month,
guests.
and
We
even
should
after
definitely
birth.
invite
After
them.
birth,
Let's invite
you
them.
look at the
Invite
former
them to your
governor of Virginia.
podcast.
He was willing to
Okay.
do this. He said,
Right
"We'll
now?
put the baby aside,
Yeah, call him
and
up
we'll
right
determine
now.
what we do with the
Okay.
baby," meaning we'll kill the baby.
All right, so
What
Trump
happens
is
brought
all
it back to
good
the
for.
States,
So
and the
Trump
country is
literally
now
just
coming
said,
together
okay,
to
he's
run
for
this
the
issue. They said,
exceptions.
"Great
We knew
thing."
that, but he never articulated it.
Terrible.
There he is on the
The
record
fact
saying
is that
so.
the
Wait, let's
vast
listen to
majority of
Biden.
Constitution scholars support Roe and decided support Roe. And that's the idea that they're all against it. It's just ridiculous. And this is the guy who said the state should be able to have it. We're a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know if you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, have you, and have him decide on what your circumstances are when you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states, that each state have a different rule. But there's so many young women who've been, including the young woman who just
There you go.
murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea
There you
that
go. What's
she
her
was
name?
murdered by an immigrant.
Say her
I mean,
name.
Talk about that. Here's the deal. There's a lot of young women being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses.
You mean like you?
Brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous. And they can do nothing about it. And then try to arrest them across state line.
Thank you.
Okay, he just lost the debate. That was
Why?
his issue. He just lost this
Yeah,
debate.
it's true. He did
We have a
nothing.
border that's the most dangerous place
He
anywhere in the world.
stumbled on his
Considered
own
the most
tongue on
dangerous
that.
place anywhere in the world.
It's
And
his
he
issue.
opened
It's
it
the
up.
Well, he
number
doesn't
number
really
one
believe
Democratic
in
issue.
it, though. He's not really
And they are
pro-choice.
raping and killing women.
That's
And
right.
it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. And in many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the
I love how
founders
you keep
if
saying
they
it's
knew
what
about
everybody
this
wanted.
issue, which frankly they
He
didn't.
says stuff like that, but
But
it's
they
a
would
smart
have-
way to go.
everybody
Say that,
wanted
take it
brought
back to the
back.
states.
Ronald
That
Reagan wanted it
resonates with the
brought back.
American
He wasn't
people.
able to
It's a
get it.
smart
Everybody
tactic.
wanted it brought
But
back,
when he's in
and
front of
many
Christian groups, he
presidents
says
have tried
something
to get
very
it back.
different.
Mhm.
I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar.
Trump's
wanted
very
it
smart
that
with
way.
his hand gestures.
Staying on the topic
You
of
think so?
abortion, President
Yeah,
Biden-
I
'cause he
find them
knows where
annoying,
the frame
especially
is.
the nipple
I'll
grab.
let you do that.
This one?
This is the same topic.
It's
7
Yeah.
he
states
knows where the
have no
framing
legal
of the
restrictions
camera is.
on
He
how
knows
far
how to
Mm.
like
into a pregnancy
get it
a
in there.
woman can obtain an abortion.
But he also looks like
Do
he
you
only
support
has one
any
arm.
Legal limits on how late a woman should be
Why
able to
does
terminate
Biden have that
pregnancy.
look on his face?
Roe v. Wade
He doesn't know what he's
said 3
doing.
trimesters.
I mean, that's
First
that's
time-
the
That's
best
the
version.
that,
of
I
what
mean,
we're gonna get.
seriously,
Second
Scott,
time
that's the
between
dementia
doctor
look right
and
there.
extreme
For all the
The
for all the
cartoonist just-
Democratic watchers of this program,
doctor
including our
and
colleagues,
between
that
the
right
woman
there
and the
is what the fuck
The
we've been
idea that
talking about.
politicians-
Yeah,
that-
you and I have
it's
talked
not
about this,
responsible
and I don't
politicians
say this
to be the one making decisions
as
about
someone who
oneself
hates
is
Joe
ridiculous.
Biden.
It's
Like I
the
said, I
last-
don't even know
no
that. I really don't have a
politician
sense of the guy.
makes A doctor should be.
But this is what you and I have been
That's
talking
how it should
about.
be run.
I want a
That's
vibrant
what's true.
candidate for both
And
parties.
I'm very
Um,
sure
What a
Roe-
pile of shit when they say, "Oh, behind
He
closed
Take
doors."
the life of the baby
Awesome.
in the
Give me a
9th month
break.
and even after birth.
The
because some
cartoonist
states,
just texted me.
Democrat run,
He said
take it
Trump is
after birth.
lying.
Again, the
Biden
governor,
is
former governor
dying.
of Virginia. Put the baby
Fair.
down and we decide what to do with it.
No, I'm
So
sorry. The
he's-
debate's over.
he's
This- he
willing
ju-
to, as
Biden
we
just
say,
lost the
rip
debate.
baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen. Democrats Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That is simply not true.
Oh, here we go.
The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. only one's life is in danger, she's gonna die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late term abortion, period.
The Roe v. Wade, you have late term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years. 51 years. And it was taken away because this guy was very conservative members on the Supreme Court.
What happened to the audio?
I don't know. I still hear it in the other room.
I think your mic is picking it up. There we go.
And they passed a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board. That's 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he gonna sign that bill? I'll veto it. They'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security.
He got his legs under him a little bit,
Number
but
of migrants have illegally crossed the
if they
southern
hand
border
you
on
your
the
issue
block.
on a silver platter, you
Overwhelming
got it.
border states,
Yeah.
Run with it.
overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, but made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they.
Who has the better hair?
With the number of border police are on now.
They both have pretty bad hair. I gotta
Yeah,
They
say.
it's
have
fine.
really
Yeah.
bad hair. Like
By the way, the
Trump
Border
is doing
Patrol
that
endorsed me,
squash thing.
endorsed my position.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we found ourselves. in
He's
a
got that
situation
German hair.
where he's
I feel that pain. I've got half of that.
Well, you guys maybe, do
Do
you remember when Biden got the hair plugs? This is back in the 80s. I'm not kidding.
He has hair
I do
plugs?
remember.
He got hair plugs and it was a big deal because, I mean, he showed up, he was in front of, I think, what was he judiciary? And he had the holes in his head.
Ooh.
Yeah, the old style thing. That's what you see in the comb over. It's held up pretty well.
I'm sure he's had them redone a couple of times. As
Do you have it
he
redone?
Silver Fox. I don't know.
I don't think what he said at the end of this. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our
Ooh.
country.
I'm not sure he knows what he said.
All we had to do is leave.
What'd he say? What'd I miss?
Trump said, I'm not sure he knows what he said.
Ah,
People that are from prisons.
It was a throwaway
People that
line.
are from mental institutions and status.
well,
Very
Scott,
smart.
you know,
Terrorists. We have the
ultimately,
largest number
I
of
mean, all of
terrorists
this is
coming
going
to
to
a
get
country
cut
right
into
now.
like
All
5-second
all over the
memes,
world, not just
right?
in
Well,
America.
And that's
and
how.
the thing is, look at the posturing. I mean, look at Biden's face, his body language. It's not good. The
He's gonna
comparison is
wander off
not
stage.
good.
He's gonna walk off the stage.
No, I'm saying that, and Ted's right. I think the posture, the presence, the body confidence, if you will, of Trump over Biden here is significant.
Brandon, speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything
Oh
like it.
no! Oh
And
no!
people are
What's he
dying
doing?
all over the place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who done anything across the border, is one who came along and killed 3, and his administration, killed Al Qaeda person coming in his administration, killed 3 American soldiers, That's the only terrorist. that's there.
Oh my God. So
I'm
by
not
the way, he
saying that
totally
no
messed
terrorist
up.
would have to
If I'd been
be
Biden,
active.
I would have said, like, the only terrorist who's crossed the border is
no
Donald
doubt.
Trump the last time he came back from a foreign vacation. He tried to overthrow the government.
President Trump,
He missed
staying
a
on topic
chance.
of immigration, you said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest.
But Biden also
domestic
said only
operation
3 Americans got killed by
history, unquote.
terrorists.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you will deport?
That's not the
every
answer.
undocumented
You
immigrant?
wanna hear
That's
it.
never the answer.
Those who have jobs, including those
Only
whose
3.
spouses are
3.
citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades. And if so, how will you do it?
We have 330 million people. We can spare them.
Yeah, what is that? That's not even a percentage.
Al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world.
Oh shit. I have to,
What? What happened? Okay, can we just say this split screen between the 2 men, Biden and Trump, it's really not doing Biden any favors to be standing next to Trump like that.
No,
It is
like I said,
really
Trump
bad.
has, for all of the glowering and there's still a presence.
I was the control room this time.
Yes, you were.
insane. And
That split screen is going to kill Biden. That's it. This
It's
is the
bad.
only.
How did they not know
debate.
this was good? Angie, I mean, you and I have both run campaigns. This is making me crazy. This cannot be a surprise.
Well, I mean, their entire team knows that this is exactly how they wanted this. This is super controlled. This is completely based on
This
Biden.
is the candidate they have, Scott. I mean, they can't, you know, what do you want them to do? They could have had, you know, Buttigieg or Klobuchar or
You keep it, no, you
Cory
keep
Booker
it
or
simple.
someone
You
else.
keep the direction simple because it's a very stressful situation. But with Biden, I would say, you stand there, you look, if you're not taking notes, and if you're looking down, your hand better be moving. And if you look up,
I'm sorry, he's like,
moderator,
he's
or you
grandpa.
look at the guy you're debating.
We elected
Period.
national grandpa, and now he's grandpa you have to take the keys away from.
He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of
He's
the
so
VA.
disgusted.
He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he's
Ooh,
killed
did
so
he
many
just say
people
Nikki?
at our border by allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single
There we
lie.
go.
For example,
That's the punch.
Veterans are a hell of a lot better off. That's the fact.
Woo.
1 million of them now have insurance and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or.
He has a Clinton
Orange,
pen in
they're all being covered
his
now.
hand.
And he opposed.
That Clinton
Some people
pen.
oppose that.
Do it.
We're
Do
also in a
it.
situation
It,
where
it stops
there's
the
great respect
robot
for that.
arms that he has.
My son spent a year in Iraq. Later went
Did
next
we
on the
drop
front,
Scott?
came
Where's
back to
Scott?
No,
Scott's
I'm
here.
here. I'm just,
Okay.
I'm just
You're
I'm
just
just
gonna
hiding.
say, this is a good moment for Biden
France from he
to say they're doing a hell of a lot better. Everything he said is a lie.
I went to the
That's
World War II cemetery.
that's a good moment. That's a strong moment.
He was standing with his first-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in.
Of course, we're half hour into the debate for him to have his first one. So
My son was not a loser, he's not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump.
Oh,
First of all, that was a made up book. Suckers and
All
losers.
right,
They made
Trump
it up.
is
You're a
going to
sucker,
turn
you're a
into
loser.
Trump now.
Like many of these magazines.
Come on,
He made
Queen's
that up.
boy.
He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taking better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say, suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking, it's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russian disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son Hunter. It wasn't Russian disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so
He's
he
going
should
off script.
apologize to me right now.
Four-star general standing aside was on your staff, said you said, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And
There
they
you
now
have
are
it.
their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our
Fact check
veterans
that.
from home, their families, and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
Top of the foreign policy, I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third
I think the mic's being turned off for is really is
Russian
helping.
President
I love it.
Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander in chief, if that's what you call him.
What's he saying?
that we've ever
He's
had.
not a
They can't
veteran.
stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible, embarrassing, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned. And so he's got no love lost, but he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this is his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
Never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of his troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president. They attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that era. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did. To Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. Listen to what he said when he went in. We're going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? It's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all.
He does not want to recreate the Soviet
Union.
If he did, he would take the Central Asian republics like Tajikistan that want to come back voluntarily.
For 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
Oh, look at Dana Bash insisting on an answer.
But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled.
Oops, he just lost Virginia.
As president.
He's also not answering the question. Why did he lose Virginia?
People being killed.
The military industrial complex.
And I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
You know, the fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? You think he'll stop when he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out.
Soon he'll be in Paris.
If in fact he does what he says and walks away. By the way,
Ted, you and I have to drink all the time like this. This is amazing.
So good.
What are you drinking tonight? What's everyone drinking tonight?
Vigna Roca.
Orange wine. The orange wine. Is that Spanish?
That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East.
It is.
In October,
Oh, it's Italian.
Simple stag's leap tonight.
Ooh, that looks like a nice bottle.
No, it's an okay bottle. My husband bought it. That's the only thing I had in the house.
I'm just having lemonade.
That makes me miss marriage.
You put forward a proposal.
For the good
to resolve
wines. You
this
can still
conflict.
have that, you know.
True.
I heard your
Hamas
wine
has
collection is
not
pretty
released
well
the
stocked.
remaining hostages. Israel is
Maybe.
continuing its
Wait,
military
is it? Wait a minute. Where
So
where
what
was this good
additional
stuff when I was
pressure
there?
will you use
You
to get
drank it all,
Hamas
you
and
fish.
Israel to end
Yeah,
the war? You
right.
have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United
I don't
Nations
like Biden's number
Security
one,
Council,
number two.
straight through the G7 to the Israelis.
And he always does it, but I hate it.
Endorse the plan I put forward.
Now,
It's
do
just
you
3
think
states.
any
The
Trump
first stage is
supporters
treat
will
the
go and flip
hostages
Biden
or
after this
a
debate?
ceasefire. Second phase is
It's a good question.
That's a great question.
Third phase is no,
Not yet.
the end of the war. The only one who wants
No,
the
I
war to
mean-
continue is Hamas, number one. They're the only ones standing up. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened in Israel, we're finding the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons.
Well,
need
they do
when
work.
need them.
They work
By
really
the way,
well.
I'm the
Like
guy
they
who
kind of work
organized
really
the war
well.
against Iran.
Maybe too well.
Had a full-blown,
It's not that they don't work. That's not really the issue.
No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things.
Now, did he just lose a lot of young
Allow it to
voters?
continue. We continue
Maybe.
to send our experts and our telling people so how they can get Hamas like we did Bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened Hamas, greatly weakened, but it should be. It should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for what using certain weapons among population centers.
Stand back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent 100 billion or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any, they were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all, you got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them as far as Israel and Hamas. Israel's the one that wants to. He said the only one that wants to keep going.
Okay,
is
so
Hamas.
this
Actually,
is where
Israel's
Donald
the
Trump
one,
is
and
doing
you should
word
let him
salad.
go and let him finish his job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian.
No, he's
but
touting
they don't
his
like him because he's a very
accomplishments
bad
And
when
his
he
deal
was
making.
president.
Was deal making.
President Biden
Yeah,
doesn't
but that's
have-
accomplishments.
But I don't. I can't. I'm having a hard time following him.
Get out of NATO. You can see NATO. You're going to pull out of NATO.
Well, he's avoiding the
idea that we
question,
have-
sort of.
Our strength
Yeah,
lies in
yeah,
our
he did.
alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but we're able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe.
And the
What
ocean's
happened
getting
is
bigger
that
because of
we
climate
have-
change.
We continue to go into
Yikes.
NATO. We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. It hasn't been. He has no idea what
Even
those talking
Luxembourg will be
By the way, I
Russian.
got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine.
Andorra will fall.
South Korea. If they
As
understand
Andorra
that
goes,
this is
so does
this
Monaco.
location has a serious threat for the whole world. No major war in Europe has ever been able to continue just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up.
They both look
would
like
you
they're
support the
enjoying
creation of
themselves
an
finally.
independent Palestinian
Yeah,
state
the
in order to achieve peace?
Biden's definitely calmed
I have to
down.
see, but before we do that,
Yeah,
the problem
That-
Yeah,
you
the
know-
problem is
They
that
just send
people
all the
tuned
money.
in at 9
So they
o'clock.
give us on trade.
they tuned out
They have
already.
great trade
They're
deals with
gone.
the
Yeah,
European
I mean,
nations.
we're the only dorks
Because
still
if you add
watching
them
this
up,
thing.
they're about the same size.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they've zoomed out on the two tight close-ups.
No cars, no.
They've
they don't
gone
want
a little
anything
bit
that we have,
lower.
But we're supposed to take their cars, their
Tiny
food,
bit.
their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that.
Why does he think
play
that's a
games with
winning argument?
NATO,
He's come back
because
to
I
that
got
since
them to put up
2016. It's
hundreds of
been a thing
billions
for
of
him.
dollars. I said,
He's not wrong.
and he's right about this.
I'm just
Yeah, but no one
curious why
cares.
I'm not going to support NATO if you
Yeah,
don't pay.
it just seems like
They asked
maybe
me
that
question,
does
would you
resonate.
guard
He
us
feels it
against
resonates
Russia?
strongly
And a very
with people's
secret
sense of
meeting with
honesty.
Yeah,
the
Angie,
of
do your
fairness.
people care?
States at that
No,
time,
my
the
people
nations
only
at that
care about
time.
America
They said, no,
first.
if you don't
They don't know
pay,
anything
I
about
won't do
NATO.
that.
Like,
You know
Right.
ask
They don't
me
even
who
know what it
runs
is,
NATO.
right?
Billions and billions
Right,
of
there's like,
dollars came
what?
flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Why don't too many believe that? And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few.
Ooh,
On
terrible
January 6th, we were
answer.
energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations
No, you
ever.
can't dodge
On
that.
January 6th, we were respected
You
all
got
over
you
the
got
world.
to you got to
All
attack
over the
it.
world, we were respected.
He's
And
got to
then
drive
he
a
comes
stake
in,
through it.
And we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible.
The takeaway
Including
for me from this
weaponization, which I'm
video,
sure at some point we'll
from
be
this
talking about,
evening,
where he goes
is going
after
to
his
be
political
this
opponent 'cause he
image of
can't be fair
Biden
and square.
with the two
You
different
have 80
eyes.
seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters?
You know, I used to draw all my cartoons with
Violating the
characters with different
constitutional oath through your actions
askew
on
eyes,
January
and
6th,
now it's like it's coming
and worry
back.
that you'll do it again.
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they
Yeah,
said,
they're all documentary
but she's saying,
filmmakers.
oh,
But-
no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor, in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of DC. They turned it down. I offered 10,000.
Mueller.
I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? That's
How
a
do you
lot of
feel
people
about
coming.
his
You could
New
feel
York
it.
accent
You could
coming
feel it
through?
too, and you could
Do you
feel
think
it.
that's
I
gonna
love
work?
his New York
They
accent.
would have
Well, I
asked
know
for
we do because we're
National
used
Guard
to
or
it. But
whatever.
do you think that works
And I
with
offered it to her, and she
Middle
now
America?
admits that
Mm.
she
Well,
turned it
obviously
down.
it works.
And
I mean,
it
I
was
was
the same
I was
day
driving
she
in the
was-
most
I don't know,
rural
she can't be very happy with her
Pennsylvania
daughter because
area,
they made her into a
and there's
liar.
Trump
She
flags
said,
everywhere.
I take full
I know.
responsibility
No,
for
I
January
did a
6th.
cross-country trek in the
President Biden.
2021. Same thing.
Look,
Hey, I'm like
He
in one of the
encouraged
bluest
social
zip codes right now,
for
and
all.
I saw at
I
least
sat in the dining
4
room
Trump
after the
flags
office. He said,
Really?
next
3
to
hours,
rainbow
3
flags.
hours
Yeah,
watching
it's wild.
being begged by his
Let's
vice
hear what
president
Biden has to say
and a
about
number
the
of his
January
colleagues on the
6th.
Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, he talked about being patriots and great patriots of America. In fact, he says he'll not forgive them for what they've done. No, and they've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. He went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court. And they said, no.
How do
This
you
guy-
fumble this question?
guy is responsible for doing.
Oh, this is where Biden's supposed to rage, and he's supposed to say, "You're a traitor. You shouldn't be here. You should be in prison." That's what he should say. He should. This is his moment where he's supposed to say, "Scott, how dare you?"
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down
He got it. He got it.
many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard
Seattle?
that, they saw them coming and they left immediately.
Biden just looks always
What
like
he said
Captain
about
Pike from the
This
Star
whole
Trek
subject is so
original
off. Peacefully patriotic. One
series
other thing,
pilot.
When he's in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Unselect committee, which is basically 2 horrible Republicans that are all gone now, out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats. They destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right.
You know, it's true,
We were right.
Angie.
And they
Biden looks a
deleted
little
and destroyed all of the information.
more
They should go to
robust,
jail for that.
like a little portlier than
Thank you,
usual.
President Trump.
Well,
President
I mean,
Biden,
look
I'll
at the
give you a minute.
words. He's getting
The only
attacked.
person who's
And that's
taken
the
convicted
response a
felons
human
now.
being would have if they're getting
The
attacked.
fact of the matter
They get
is,
aroused.
what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on with Capitol Hill and all of
No, you
every
say
one of
that
us
he
who
ran.
convicted
Oh my God,
deserves
this
to
is.
be
Did you
convicted.
say he told
The
them all to
idea that
come?
they didn't kill
He
somebody,
tweeted. He
that
said
somebody
it will
broke
come
down
to
doors,
come
broke the
January
windows,
6th. It will be
that
wild.
occupied offices, turned over desks.
Nothing makes me
turned
madder
over
than bad
statues. The
politics,
idea
and
that
this
those
is bad
people were
politics.
convicted.
True.
Why is it bad
Come on.
politics? Which
Because
exactly?
he has two issues. He already screwed up the abortion question. Now he's screwing this up. You do what Ted said. You look at him and says, "You're a traitor. You tried to overturn a fair election in this country, and you did it with your minions, and you get angry."
You're Benedict Arnold. You deserve the same fate. That's what he should say.
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have.
Are there
After
no
your
commercial
interview,
breaks?
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
there's
up with
three.
that?
There's
Last
three.
month, you said
I thought
if
there
reelected,
were.
you would,
I think
quote,
there's two
have
or three
every
of
right
them.
to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the select committee on January 6th going to jail, and your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted. Going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion, you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with this son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
President Trump. President Biden, you have said.
I hate to say this, but he's right.
You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute.
He did stuff that was wrong,
The
but not what he
idea
was convicted for.
that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president.
Do you think Jill
wrong.
talks to him like that?
Wrong.
Number
No
one.
president's ever thought.
Number two.
No president.
Number one, buy better wine for the White House. Number two, I am fucking a Secret Service agent. Number three, you will shut up about it.
Well, maybe he or maybe he really does. Joe has to do number one.
Joe
has to do number two. What do you suppose the Secret Service code is that?
What are you talking about? You're getting the most finale.
Figure that, sir.
I didn't have sex with it once.
That's his angry
Number one.
face, you guys.
Number two, that was a case that was started.
Oh, now he's doing the one and two.
High-ranking official at DOJ into the Manhattan
You gotta
DA.
do that
That's
on
what
Sly
I guess to
Show.
be presidential.
That case was.
You have to have your bullet points.
We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My phone numbers went up way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the
That's
history
not the
of
litmus
any
test, but
campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Oh, yeah.
President Trump, President
That's a-
Biden,
that's
you
a
have
good
said,
line.
Quote, Donald
Yeah.
Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The
ooh,
more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming.
Are you guys watching RFK Jr. as well?
No, but
I don't know what the jury will do.
I
Biden's
haven't-
answer is bad. This is basket of deplorables. Don't ever insult the voters, even when they deserve it.
That I'm going to seek retribution. Ever hear any president say that he thought he had some good ideas? What got me involved around the first place that my son.
What he should have said is, they were fooled. This man is a con man.
Yeah.
They fell for his
So
con.
I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People
They won't
coming
be
out of
fooled
the
again.
faucet.
No, I'm serious. That's the,
Yeah.
that's the capital.
It's in the CNN
No, he could
file.
say, I
It's
trust
time.
that as the campaign goes on, they, you know, they'll pay attention and they'll realize.
They asked him, they said, what do you think of those people? People, the ones that wanted to try to stop it, and the one that said, I think it's fine people on both sides. What American president would ever say, Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing, saying, man, wow, carrying swastikas, fine people. This is the guy that says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. Good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
So has has he cleared the very low bar set for him by the likes of us? Seriously, has he?
Angie, go ahead and answer that.
I'm worried that he's not blinking. Like I'm looking at him for medical conditions.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, here's it's like this. Has Ted Rall cleared the low bar?
You know it, and I know this. Ridiculous. You have to think, we're trying to justify his president.
I'm like looking for medical signs.
Without
Like, oh my
question,
goodness, do we
The
call
worst
the
president,
doctor
the worst
now?
president in the
It's,
history
I
of our
mean, I'm
country.
sorry.
We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing.
I
to
mean,
debate.
look, it's
He made up
TV.
the Charlottesville story.
People
And you'll see
mainly
it. He
don't
bumped
really
all over the
remember
place.
what's
Every
said.
anchor has
They
said,
really
we
remember the
has
visual.
debunked it.
And they
Yeah.
remember
And
the
just
body
other day it
language.
came out where it was fully
Need I say more?
debunked.
Right.
It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
Okay, I'm on my second glass now.
The bomb didn't happen.
Only number two. I'm like on number 3 or 4.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
but
But I
slow
have a
down.
small. I
kids.
have a much
Somehow
smaller.
that's
I have a
one
much
reason I
smaller
ran.
glass than you.
Yeah, why is that? Is that how you drink your orange
Yeah,
wine?
supply chain.
Yeah, I've got like a full gallon right here.
You do. My God, it's a
All the
drum.
big glasses are off the shore of Port of San Diego.
The ID, and he's talking about all this being fabricated. We saw it with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through windows. We saw people.
Whoever's
occupy
working
that.
the
He's
camera
not vice
on
president.
Joe
But the
Biden is
reason
doing an
why
amazing
40
job
levels, 40
because he
foot
keeps
top
swaying.
cabinet office,
I don't know if you've
machine
noticed this. He
persons.
keeps swaying,
Yeah.
Vice
and the
president.
CNN logo behind
So
him.
why?
It almost
Why?
like
They
has to
know why.
move with him.
They
It's so
serve-
obvious that
why
he's
is
Yeah,
it
he's
swaying.
had to move the camera to like
Thank you,
get
Mr.
him
Black. We're gonna be right
more
back
in the
with
frame.
more from the
Yep.
CNN presidential debate.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna mute here the during the commercial. During
Alright.
during the highly paid commercial. All right, guys. Angie, what do you think?
How many people have tuned out as of the commercial break?
Oh, I'm gonna say 65%. What do you think? Scott?
Usually, I mean that's typical anyway. Without these two men, I
By
think
this,
people.
yeah. If I wasn't doing this right now, I might have passed out on the couch by now. I'm usually well fast asleep by now.
I know.
Yeah,
This is
I
way past my
think-
bedtime.
I think there's no better. There's only one chance. You only have one chance to make a good first impression. Biden didn't. That's my
Mm-mm.
takeaway. What do you think?
For the Scott, I think the
Yeah.
first 20 seconds was enough for me
Devastating.
to look at his facial features. Nothing screamed out confidence or even in any way secure.
Right.
And remember who's watching it, not just American voters, but leaders from around the world are watching
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
And it just looks terrible. I mean, Democrats have to do something. I mean, give us a real fight at least.
He missed every opportunity to take an opportunity.
Yeah.
Scott, what do you think?
I think he missed two golden opportunities for the two main issues that the Democrats are going to push in the fall. In addition, you're absolutely right. The first 20 minutes, he looked scared. He looked incredibly uncomfortable. He looked sweaty and glowy.
Yeah, I guess
And-
this might be like Trump might be right. Better not to over prepare, right? I mean, better to come into it rested and ready than to be, totally freaked out from a week of cramming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think, and it is. Let's face it, it's high dungeon. This is huge. This is as high and as dangerous and as dramatic as politics gets. Right? You're going to have the numbers, like I said, tomorrow morning when we learn what the ratings are going to be through the roof. Did 65% of the people drop out? I don't think it's going to be that high. but the fact that there's commercials is really freaking me out. I'll be honest. It is. It's
Really?
like, it just seems
Why? It's the
unseemly.
Super Bowl. This is the Super Bowl.
It
I
is.
get that, but could you imagine the
Zillions of
Lincoln
dollars.
Douglas debate? Hey, take the blue mass. It'll take care of what's getting you under. The blue mass. Actually, Lincoln did take a thing called the blue mass because he was horribly constipated, but that's another, it's a true story. No, it was called the blue mass. I'm not
Well,
kidding.
And I
Um,
want to hear
Sponsored
all
by
about
Mrs.
that.
Abernathy's soothing tincture for baby. 180 proof.
Exactly. It's just weird to watch a commercial. And these are actual like commercials. I mean,
No, this is
They
good.
are.
We get to talk and we get to drink some more. Look, Biden needs to take a bathroom break. He needs to, he needs to sit down for a second. He needs a little shoulder massage from
This might be a
Jill.
number 2 bathroom break. Hey, so listen, are we at the point where the DNC is seriously thinking about swapping him out? Look, I think he lost the debate. I do. Unless something major happens in the next 35 minutes. I think that's it. But, is it catastrophic enough to call
No.
for yanking him yet?
It
No,
depends
that-
on how much the media covers for him tomorrow. It depends on
Oh,
how they
Angie,
change
you
the
know
narrative.
They'll do
that
their
they're not-
best.
I was talking to a friend of ours, a cartoonist friend of ours, retired, and this afternoon, how Joe Biden, they're saying that he's senile. They're just not, that's just not true. I go, yeah, it kind of is because we can see it.
Right.
And because we're
yeah.
not fucking idiots.
Right.
Well,
Well,
Yeah, well, I'm sorry,
Right, I'm
Scott.
gonna
I
go
mean,
put
I
the
just want to
volume
know.
on.
I mean, the visuals are so obvious, right? As you pointed out. So they can't hide that anymore. There's just no ways. And I think that's what people are looking for. They want the full package, right? Even if he didn't talk at all, just the glaring, like, face that he
Yeah.
has on. It's too much.
and I know that Ted is making fun of here's the thing. I mean, it really is, there's a long story. I won't launch into it, but the visuals are so important.
Yes.
To Ted's question, is this performance been so bad that they're going to be saying we need to yank him off the ticket? No.
Fact of the matter is, more small black
We
businesses
want Biden
have
on the
started
ticket.
to
He'll be
answer
easily
Number
beatable.
2, the wages of black.
Well, more importantly,
black
down
people
ticket.
below colors.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Number 3, we're trying to find housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporate operations.
Oh, God.
Keep people out of their houses. In addition to that, we find that the impact of.
I'm sorry,
the-
Angie.
The
What? Tell me.
choice
Swap him out.
black families have to make relative to childcare.
I want you to swap him out.
I play poker. Right now, I'm throwing in my cards,
I was able to reduce black
This is
Childcare
the
costs
best Biden's
are
ever going to
painful.
be.
in half.
Yeah.
This is
no,
it.
You're right. Angie's right.
Childcare
Yeah,
costs.
and I'm right. She is right. So am I.
Private childcare protections.
You're going to hear, no, but she's also right when she said earlier, see how the press is going to spin this. I guarantee you, outside of Fox News, he will be declared the winner.
Yeah, but the problem is that like 200 million Americans just watch this. You can't slip it under the rug.
Voters who are disappointed with the progress so far.
I don't think we just.
By the way, but now let's see if Trump will pick up the ball here. If I were Trump, I would say, obviously he should say, obviously black people are voting with their feet. They're coming over to me after years of voting Democratic. But if I were him, I would mention Biden's support of busing. I mean, anti-busing. He was opposed to busing. That's how he started his career. He was a big racist in Delaware.
If they paid their bills for 10 years.
Early 70s, that's right. He was in the Senate in the early 70s.
Congress.
Jesus, but still, I mean.
In 1973, he was against court-ordered busing. That's how he made his political career with the racist white voters of Wilmington.
He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families.
Trump doesn't know the history, unfortunately.
It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's double, triple, and quadruple. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him.
I don't think inflation is killing people.
Essentially, no inflation. It was perfect. It was so
It's an
good. All you had to
expression.
do was leave it alone. he destroyed it with his Green New scam.
Yeah, but he
all
needs
the
to
other-
specify
all this
white
money
people,
that's
black
been thrown
people,
out the
everybody
window.
suffers from
He calls
inflation.
inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it
black
could be
jobs.
19, and even
That's a
20
rough
million
phrase.
people. They're taking black jobs, and they're
Ooh.
taking Hispanic jobs, and you
Ooh.
haven't seen it yet, but you're gonna see something that's gonna be the worst in our history.
Thank you, President Biden.
Yeah.
There was no
Yeah.
inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back, 50% unemployment. He decimated the economy. That's what he decimated.
I gotta say, I mean,
That's why there's no.
I'm not voting for Trump, but Biden's lying. I
No
mean,
job.
it's not Trump's fault there was a fucking pandemic.
Well, you could make an argument that it was badly managed, and I think it
Well,
was.
yeah, but that's not what Biden's arguing. Biden's arguing like, look at the high unemployment. There was a lockdown, asshole.
$8,000 per person in the family.
Tell you, I'm not impressed by both of them tonight. I think that's my takeaway. Neither one of them is really wowing me.
Yeah, why does Trump look like Boris Johnson right now?
The idea.
Oh,
I gotta-
wow,
I'm
I don't
gonna-
know about that.
I'm gonna disagree with you guys. If I was watching this cold, if I was like, like just a dude who did, because let's face it, we're three wonks. I would say, oh, but Trump's actually got his shit together.
I agree.
Tremendous.
Trump's definitely not acting like the wild man that he's portrayed.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's what I
Another
mean. I
persistent
need more
challenge is the
Trump.
climate
This is
Nah,
boring, Trump. This
I'm
is
sorry,
very
that's
boring.
because you're MAGA girl, but
No, yeah.
but for the swing voters, yeah, you should be happy.
I need him to do his Trump dance.
Intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes.
And that,
you
that
were
would
not
make
going to
me
see.
happy.
You said yourself you're not going to see MAGA.
No, but
MAGA
I
gone.
know, but I need to have.
You were right.
Have you seen a meme yet? I haven't seen a single meme.
No.
Let me just go back to what he said about the police, how close the police have been. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't in the 1990s.
Oh, there we go. That's a Ted Rall special right there.
Was his name. And he called it to them, and they've taken
not
great
wrong
offense
either.
at it. And now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black
Here's your favorite
colleges
story,
and
Angie.
universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott.
I am getting
incredibly
tons
did a
of
great job. Great senator
fundraising
from South
texts from
Carolina.
the Democrats right
Can't agree
now.
with
I
you.
get them from
I
both
was
Democrats and
great.
Republicans,
It's one of the most
but I just got
successful
one from,
economic
hey, this is
development
Jill.
acts
Are you
ever
watching
in the
this?
country.
We need your help.
Opportunity zones. And
Jill,
the biggest
Jill is
beneficiary
perfect.
are
Has your
black. And
digits?
that's why
That slut.
we have the best numbers for that in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where
Maybe she's going to leave her husband after this debate
He's
performance.
much of the black population because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But when
No,
see
you
these
can't say
millions of
that.
people pouring into our country and they're going to take the job, and it's already started, and you haven't
Oh,
seen
boy.
anything yet. It's a disaster.
That's him talking to his
38
base.
seconds
He
left
doesn't
for
realize
President
he's not
Trump.
talking to his
Take any
base tonight.
action as president to slow the climate crisis.
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all
had
forms of energy,
H2O.
all forms, everything. And yet,
This is when he
during
starts
my
to
4
sound like he's a
years, I had
seventh
the
grader
best
giving a book report for a book he
environmental
didn't
numbers
read.
awesome.
ever.
But
And my
is
top
Biden
environmental
going
people
to
gave me that
be any
statistic
better?
just
No.
before
I'm not
I
sure.
voted.
By the way, I would make so much fun of him. Like,
I don't
dude,
know where the hell he's been. The idea that he said is true. I passed the most extensive.
I can't believe he doesn't make fun of him for H2O. I'd be like, congratulations, Don, you passed the second grade science.
I came up with $50 million for HBCUs, historic black university college, because they don't have the kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable of college and doing any white student could do. You just have the money, but now we'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming that have done something that had cleans water, didn't have a damn thing to the environment. He, the Paris Peace Climate Accord, I immediately joined it. Because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, we would go way back. The only existential threat to humanity is climate change.
Nobody knows what
And he
Biden's
didn't
talking
do
about right
anything
now.
about it. He wants to undo all the work done.
Well, he's
Paris
talking to his
Accord was
base, I
gonna cost
think.
us $1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States. And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because they treat us horribly. We were the only ones who was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it. And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the
Even
seniors.
Clovis isn't
I
watching
took care of
anymore,
the
and he
seniors.
likes
What he's doing
television.
is
He likes
destroying
politics.
all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest part of the stage, I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social
Ooh.
Security.
How about
Medicare, and
illegal
Medicaid.
voting? Uh-oh.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence. We're not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything if we're not able, the United States can't get under control? One of the largest polluters in the world, number one. We're making significant progress. By 2035.
Ooh, you got that booger.
We made significant progress.
I know that feeling. It's my right nostril too. Left nostril never makes no
You've done
boogers,
that on air too.
but the
Ted.
left nostrils, yeah.
We're moving in directions that are gonna
That's the problem with
significantly
video.
change the elements that cause pollution. But the idea.
I
that
signed up for
he
radio,
claims
not video.
he is
I
the biggest
know. I
part of
thought I could
humanity,
roll
we're
out of bed
concerned
every
about
morning
Me
to
too.
do a radio show.
pollution,
And it's like,
about
what is this?
You're on
bungle
TV.
Crap.
Yeah.
And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for one voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay. And by the way,
So every day, millions.
This
of
is
Americans
what?
struggle just to
What?
maintain
And by the
safety,
way-
many older Americans.
By the way,
Social
what?
Security
They
provides
cut him
critical
off
lifeline.
before he went too
President
far into
Biden, nothing is
pharmaceuticals.
done to Social Security. Seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solid?
yes, make the very wealthy can pay their fair share.
Throw
Right
that
now.
question at him.
Everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck. It's time the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that they're gonna, I've been proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one after, not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, it began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond be able to guarantee the program for life.
So you
It's
still have 82
sad that
seconds left. Are there any other measures that
Biden
you
took
think
so
that would be
long to
able
ramp
help, keep Social Security
because
solid?
now he actually
True.
looks like
Does
a
that
human
line
being.
up?
Well, that one enough will keep it
The
solid.
very
The
first bit
biggest
just
thing
really
will
tanked
be
him.
defeat the
Yeah.
stand because he
Yeah.
wants to
Everyone's
get
just
Social
drinking at the
Security.
bar. They've already
He
turned
thinks
down the
there's
Yeah,
sound.
money
no,
to cut
that's
Social
really
Security.
true.
He's wanting to cut Social Security and
Yeah.
Medicare both times.
At Chateau
That's-
Rall,
and if you look at
neither the
the
kid
program
nor the
put forward
cat
by
are
the
still
House
here.
Republican caucus that he supports is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the way, the American public has greater healthcare coverage today than ever before. And basically, as I said, we're in a circumstance where 400,000 people, 40 million people do not have insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they in fact are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is, we're in a situation where we talk about education for Black communities. I've raised
Do you know if there's a clock in front of them?
the amount of money for
There
Pell
has to
Grants,
be.
another $8,000. So anybody making
Yeah,
under
usually there is. But I gotta tell you, like, even if Biden is saying relevant things that I'm actually like really trying to hear, the
Thank you, President
delivery
Trump.
is so monotone
Politicians.
Yeah.
that it
all my
doesn't.
life. I've been on
It
There's a
doesn't
lot of
enter.
repetition of the same phrases and words, right? Like, in
The
fact,
tone.
I've never
as a
seen
matter of
anybody lie
fact,
like that.
number
He
one,
lies
number
against
two,
you. We can look you in the
But I
face.
need
Some
to
of-
absorb what he's
some of the other
saying
things, too.
as as a voter, and I can't absorb what he's saying because it's just so.
Well, there's no
monotone.
emphasis. Yeah, it's
Right.
like, yeah.
It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens there. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. By the way, when I said suckers and losers, he said he acknowledged accurately he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged. That's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it. Number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, as Greg talked about, illegal aliens are coming into the country.
He always says this,
taking away our
we'll be in a
jobs.
situation
There's a
that,
reason why
that's one of
we
his
have the
phrases.
fastest growing economy in the world. The reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said.
Biden should just curse. He should just like throw out the F-bomb.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you,
Right.
fuck you, Donald Trump. I hate you. You're fat and gross and you're a traitor and I hate you and I wish you would die.
That would work. And then that would be blasted everywhere. He's missing an opportunity.
Childcare, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to
I have a
address
question for you,
but
Donald
the
Trump.
average cost of childcare.
What did
Yeah,
it feel
fuck
to be
you.
nestled? What did it feel to be nestled firmly between Stormy Daniels' gigantic bosoms?
I like Angie's much more concise. I have one question for you, Donald Trump.
Just
Fuck you, fuck you.
The general got fired because he was so good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other thing is, he doesn't fire people. He never fired people. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI during the
So
swamp.
what?
They were no good. Not easy to
not-
fire people. You pay a
That's
price
not the
for it.
question.
But they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put them there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody.
Don't
He
say
never
the
fired-
word fire.
He
It
should have
makes you look
fired
terrible.
every
Yeah,
military
Americans
man
hate
was
that
involved
word.
with that the Afghanistan.
Why are they
horror
both
show.
performing
The most
so
embarrassing
terribly?
moment in
I
history.
honestly
Well,
think that
Trump is
Did you
definitely
fire-
not
did you fire
doing well,
anybody?
but
Did you
his
fire anybody
what he has
that's
going for
on the
him is that
that's allowed to
Biden's
set the
even
worst
worse.
order in the history of the
Yeah,
world? Did
I
anybody
know.
get fired for
a lot of
allowing
I'm reading
18
the
million
comments
people,
online right
many
now.
from
Everyone's
prisons,
saying that Biden's
many
been
from-
tanked.
from
What
mental
are
Biden's
what are
history,
MAGA people
Biden's
saying about Trump?
impossible. Well, they're just talking. I mean, I'm on the MAGA stuff, right?
Yeah,
So
what are they saying about Trump though? Are they okay with it?
not great. Nothing. I mean, Biden is impossible to understand. That's
Yeah, I know. I can barely understand a word he's fucking saying.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He come
Well,
out-
I'm
came out
watching
with
the,
a
I'm
nothing
kind of
deal.
getting a feed. I'm looking
And
at what's
reduce
going
the
on
everything,
X,
but
and
it's
that's been
interesting.
interesting.
He wants open
Because the
borders.
left is
He
trying
wants our
all they
country to
can
either be destroyed or he wants
to bring
pick
up old
those
tropes and
people
so on,
as
but they're not
voters.
really commenting
And
on the
I
debate
don't think
itself.
we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance
all right.
of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is.
There
He's
we
the
go.
worst in history by far.
There we
Thank you,
go.
President
That's going to be
Biden.
the news
We're the
clip
most
tomorrow.
admired country in the world. We're the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We're the finest military in the history of the world. The finest in the
Even
history of the
though
world.
our finest military
No
has
one-
lost every war
No one.
since World War II.
Nobody. Number
No,
one.
we won Grenada.
The idea
That's true. We
that
kicked
we're
their
talking
fucking
about
asses.
worst presidents. I
Damn
wasn't
right.
joking. Look it up. Go online. 159, 58 to know the exact number. Presidential historians. They had meetings and they voted. Who was the worst president in American history? One for best to worst. They said he was the worst in all
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump was not the best president, but it's going to be hard for him to be worse than say Fillmore or Buchanan.
Buchanan's pretty much
Buchanan's pretty much got to be the worst.
Yeah.
Or Pierce, maybe?
Yeah, Franklin Pierce. If you ever read inaugural addresses, Franklin Pierce's is the best, which is pretty much, I suck, I don't deserve the job, please pray for me.
Thank you, President Trump. The question was about what would you do to make childcare more affordable, if you want to take a minute.
Just you understand.
It's not only are the two men monotoned, the camera movement is monotoned. So like it's just a big loser, right? Because there's no other jump cuts you can go to. You can't
why
cut
don't they
to
have
like
like
a video.
multiple cameras with different angles?
Well, they have 3 cameras. It's a very
And this is part of the problem with no audience. With the audience, you get the audience reaction shots, and it's like, look, there's John Roberts, his reaction or whatever.
It's so C-SPAN.
Here's Clarence Thomas looking for someone to buy him a vacation.
4 or 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I grow up and I see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did poor business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look,
Biden's eyes are getting red. Do you see the bloodshot?
Yeah. Like me, he's way past his bedtime.
No, that's from being pumped up, unfortunately.
I did these tariffs, 10% tariffs. Everything coming into the country, you know what the economists say? That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year more, because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that we're importing. Number 2, he's in a situation where he talks about how he is not raised, he's somehow helped middle class. Middle class has been devastated by it. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You have the largest deficit of any president in American history, number 1. Number 2, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are the lowest trade deficit in China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up.
Everyone was so bugged out they needed to get high.
Trump's response is going to be immigration, guaranteed.
What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs, because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't, because it's too much money.
That's a good point.
It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep
Well, so
allowing
all the
them
memes that I'm
to do what
seeing
they're doing
online
to
right
us
now,
as a country.
especially from the
They are
right,
killing
it's
us
just
as a
that
country, Joe,
frozen
and you
Biden
can't
face.
let that happen. You're destroying our country.
Right, that's all I'm seeing. No
President
words,
Trump, you have
just his.
67 seconds left. The question was, what do you
It's
do
not
to
really
help
unfair.
Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling?
I mean, he's been like that throughout the debate.
I think we're doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3 years like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough, and it was the drugs pouring across the border.
Scott, you called it.
Started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog. It's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen. The way they can spot.
Bullshit! If you had drug sniffing cats, that shit would be over.
Very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers?
According to the Daily Mail, my favorite publication, Biden's early debate performance cues calls for him to be replaced, and even for the 25th Amendment to be invoked.
But Daily Mail is, of course, right wing and spinning.
It's not that
And
hard
numbers
right
that
wing though. I
nobody's
don't
ever seen
find it to
under him.
be
There's a
like,
border still
it's
there.
certainly not the New York
But
Post
the
or.
number of drugs coming across
It's
the
kind
border
of is the New
is
York
the largest
Post.
we've ever had by far.
It's better
President
written.
Trump, thank you, President Biden.
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure we use them.
Okay, CNN, this is a
Big
very
machine
far
roll
right
over and come across the border.
woman and
And it costs a lot
couture.
of money.
CNN moderators are
I was
surprisingly great.
I think
Not
they're terrific. I think
wildly
they've done a
unfair.
very good job.
Yeah.
More able to detect drugs.
Yeah, they've
more-
kept
more
control of it.
numbers
Of course,
agents,
with the
more
tamped
numbers
down mic, I guess they're able to.
And when we had that deal done, he went, he called.
You know, Jake is my neighbor here in Manhattan. I'll see him later.
It's not a good deal. It's a really good deal.
Uh-oh,
We need
Joe
those
Biden might have an
machines. We need
earpiece.
those machines. We're
That's
coming
why he
down
keeps
very
looking
hard in every
down
country in
and
Asia
writing
in terms of precursors from fentanyl, and Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about
Yeah.
Americans in the throes of addiction right now, struggling.
Well,
to
both
get
of them did a
addiction.
shitty job on the opioid addiction. I mean, on the fentanyl.
Neither of them gives two
Yes.
shits about it.
He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We
Told
had
ya.
so many things that we had done, hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage, we always say $6 billion for a hostage, every time we say a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy, and he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly, as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said, by literally, as soon as I win the
What
election,
does this have to
I will
do
have that
with
reporter out.
fentanyl?
He should have had him out a long
He's
time
Nothing.
having
ago.
a, I don't think he's having a great
Putin's probably asking
performance
for billions and
tonight.
billions of dollars.
He's having
No one gives a shit right now. Both
Yeah.
like Trump could say, I'm inviting the
I got
aliens to
58
invade
people
us
that-
and take
that
over
vote
America,
for nothing.
and everyone would be like,
Thank you,
oh,
President
whatever.
Trump. Yeah.
Joe Biden
That's
could be
the
like,
concerns that voters
I'm eating
have
my own
about
boogers. Everyone would be like, whatever. I think everyone's kind of like done paying attention at this point.
Yeah, it's so boring. It's worse
Yeah.
than C-SPAN.
Yeah,
When are they having the
that's how it
second
is.
commercial break?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you-
Please soon.
First of all, I had my career because I've been the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate. And now I'm the
Yes,
oldest.
1812.
Really?
I think
He
it's
really
just
said that?
correct
I'm the
to
second
put
youngest
that
person?
turnaround.
Yeah, but you're
Politics is what you
ancient
do.
now.
Yeah. That's like whatever. It was, I mean, yeah, at that time, Richard Nixon was president, and he's been dead a long time.
In enterprises, we are growing. By the way, we brought all.
At that time, the Vietnam War was
The whole
raging.
idea, Computer chips, we said 50%
Do we
of the
know
market,
if Joe
We
Biden
invented
wears a
those
hearing
chips.
aid?
And we lost it.
Look, if he doesn't, he should. I mean, I think it's impossible for anyone 81 years old really to have
Yeah.
perfect hearing. I just don't
I believe
think
he
so.
does.
He should.
Because he was seen adjusting it
And then,
throughout the
guess what?
debate.
Those fabs, they call them.
Well, they can Bluetooth that, you know, I mean,
Those fabs.
they're pretty
that's
amazing
what-
now.
True.
That's what the conspiracy theorists were saying.
Yeah, but what if it's the MAGA people like putting stuff in there like you're fat, you're gay, you're ugly, we hate you.
Maybe. But wait, have we heard anything about Trump's VP picks? That was his big kind of
No.
like sly moment, right?
Oh, they're talking about the age thing now.
Never heard a president talk like this. We're the envy of the world. Name me a
Oh, now
single
he's looking
major
80.
country president wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world.
There's,
We're a
okay,
country in the world that
Ange,
keeps
I'm sorry, this
the
is the
and
third.
everybody trusts
You knew
us.
this question
All
was
our
coming.
allies and our-
Reagan
and our-
nailed
and
it
our-
in
those who
83.
he held subject
Nailed
to
it. He knew it was
John
coming.
Kelly sent
You could see it in
letters
his
to
face when they
Clinton,
asked
et
it.
cetera. They don't want us to go around.
This droning.
Thank you.
No, the correct
Bullshit.
answer
Would be
is
82 at the end.
age
of
affects
your
everybody
second term.
differently.
What do you say?
If I ever
folks? Do you have
felt that I wasn't able to do the
concerns
job,
about
I would step down. That's the correct
Well, I
answer.
took 2 tests, God did a test, I aced it.
I think there's a joke.
You know,
That-
we made it public. He
He's
took
He's
Sorry.
talking about
it.
cognitive
Pick one, pick one. They're really
cognitive
easy.
tests.
Like go through the first 5 questions, you couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health.
Yeah, but
Just one.
what about Stormy Daniels? What does Stormy Daniels say about his performance?
To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter. But I'm in good shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test.
I don't.
And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced it. Dr. Ronnie
I aced it.
What don't? Is this the same doctor who allegedly said he weighed 215 pounds?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Donald Trump is, according to his doctor, lighter than me.
225 pounds, or 235 pounds.
Oh, finally, they're looking at each other.
Well, he's doing the weight thing. He just did it.
Just take a look at what he is. Think for what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest now. For you, I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And by the way, I told you I'm happy to take off and carry your own bag. See if you can do it.
Oh,
It's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap, 8. I had, you know,
I've seen this way. I know you.
President Trump,
oh God, oh God.
We're going to have a golf off.
Please, that would be amazing if they could figure it out.
See what? Yeah, we'll settle this shit at Mar-a-Lago.
The results of this election, regardless of who wins, and you will say right now that
There can't be another commercial break. They're simply.
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. And I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent. Because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation.
This is when Biden should come back. The reason you're here is because I beat you last time.
And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His
He's so tired. Biden's so tired.
They're insane. These are wars that will
He just
never
wants it
end
to be
with him.
over.
He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
World War III.
By the way, can I name who's there with him right now in Atlanta? Okay, you have Mark Meadows, you have Marsha Blackburn, you have Lindsey Graham, Kelly Loeffler, Ted Budd, Tim Scott, Elise Stefanik, J.D. Vance, I don't know that guy, Ben Carlson, and Marco Rubio. That's who's attending the Georgia CNN debates with President Trump tonight.
Interesting.
He promised a VP. He promised a VP.
Just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv.
We've got 2.5 minutes left.
See what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush.
He
They
won't
took a
answer.
lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it.
It's so weird how Trump talks about himself in the third person.
Well, it reminds me of Bob Dole. Remember? Bob
Now
Dole
it's gonna take the
believes.
whole thing from
I
his
don't remember
neck to
that.
his- That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia. Because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people.
Are they gonna run over?
So many people.
It
It's
could
so
be.
sad.
It got just
2
over a
minutes.
minute to
One of
go.
the gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked.
President Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of
Stop
who wins? Yes
asking
or
the
no?
same
If
question.
it's a fair, legal, and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week. Or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our
He was
country.
going to
I
run
would be
on
very happy to
January
be someplace
19th,
else, in a nice
2021.
Location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up by numbers and driven them up to a very high level.
We're now
Because
at
the people
We're now at
understand.
90 minutes.
Most things your numbers are, this election is over. Let's see, you're a whiner. You lost the first time, you continue your appeal to the appeal of courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke.
I mean,
This is
Biden's
why
not a
about
total
somehow
fucking
involved
idiot.
this
He
representation
does know
of
some
the
basic
There's
shit,
no evidence of that at
but
all.
he's just not
And
sharp
I'll
enough
tell
to
you
be,
what, I
you
doubt
know,
you'll accept it,
president.
because you're such a
He
whiner.
can't deliver it.
The idea, if you lose
Yeah.
again, you're accepting anything, you can't stand loss.
I mean, there's, you know, it's two things can be true at the same time.
We'll be right back
A man can be
with
senile,
more from the CNN
and
presidential
yet-
debate, live from Georgia.
not be totally fucked up.
You may want to mute this. This is
Wait,
another
wait.
commercial
They
break.
put a break? I thought they were done.
I thought it was going to be 90 minutes. Am I wrong?
You are
Yeah.
not wrong, but
They're going over.
they're going for the commercials.
Yeah, they have to because they paid like $7 million each.
Was it 7 million?
I don't know the number. I'm making it up, but it's zillions of dollars.
You Republicans.
No, but it's like it's the Super Bowl, right? So they got to get their
Well,
commercial
you
breaks
know they're
in.
getting bucks. That's for sure. No question.
So I'm good. Look, they're still standing up. That's a surprise.
I
mean,
mean,
during
Joe
the-
really looks to me like he wants it to be done.
Now, do they get a chance to sit down here? I'm assuming, I noticed they didn't have any water on the podium. Is that part
No,
of the thing?
they were given water.
Okay.
It might be underneath or something.
what they're touching up their makeup right now.
Right.
They are probably having a sip. They're not allowed
Peeing?
to talk to their aides. Trump has pretty much everyone that he hangs out with him backstage, like a rock star. So none of them are going to be the VP picks. They're just they're just fanboys and girls.
You don't think so?
No, they're fanboys and girls. No, I think he doesn't take any of them really seriously in that respect anyway. They're just kind of like friends who hang, but you don't pick them to be Secretary of State, for example. Like
Who do
the
you think it's
real
gonna be?
people. Well, the real people who really do put in the work, they don't like take selfies and all that stuff, right? They work. So I think that was a fake out with the VP pick, which is really
Interesting.
surprising to me because I was expecting to see a VP pick, but you see every single person supposedly on the short list there tonight.
I have a progressive friend who just texted me. I have a dear friend in his 70s with Parkinson's. He is sharper and more coherent than Biden.
Ooh,
Oof.
wow.
Oof. So, Angie, real quick, who do you think it's going to be? If you had to guess, who?
I mean, at this point, I hate the suspense. I hate the buildup. I just wish he would pick the most boring person available. Just do Doug Burgum. Like he's boring.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Do
but
him.
the guy can't talk. He would be like Trump's personal Biden.
Virgo?
Whatever. I mean, I don't at this point. It's like just choose
Hmm.
someone already.
JD Vance would be a good choice,
I don't know too much.
even
about
though he's a
JD
werewolf.
Vance.
So you have to watch out. You can't campaign during the full moon.
Okay, what do you think the polls are going to show tomorrow?
Trump wins by a narrow margin.
Yeah, although that's not really fair. Trump won by a significant margin in reality.
Yeah. Well, no, I think as the analysis goes, I'd say more importantly over the weekend and how it's spun.
You're right. They'll say Trump barely won. Yeah.
Yeah. But Angie's right. I mean, this is, they're going to spin it.
The fix is in.
Yeah. The fix is in.
Well, you can only fix it so much. I mean, the kind of deadpan deer in headlights look that Biden had throughout the first 90 minutes of this, you can't undo that, right?
No,
I mean,
you really can't.
That's a
too many.
for everybody.
Here's the thing: it's easier to spin when they're spinning a debate that most people haven't watched.
Right.
Most people have watched this one.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah. So
okay, I'm gonna go turn on it on.
Here we go. I'm guessing this is going to be the final comments. I guess this is bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the 90 minutes did not include all the commercial breaks. I don't know, but you know what? Let them keep going.
We've made significant progress within the debacle of left by President Trump and his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience, or anyone out watching this debate, think the tax system is fair. Fact is that I said nobody would make it under $400,000 at a single penny increase in the taxes. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit.
I gotta say, he looks great in a suit for a guy who's 81 fucking years old. I mean, I don't look that good. I'm not even 61. But his brain is broken.
I did, well, for example,
his face is broken. His arms are broken.
It's true. I wouldn't trade.
No.
Us to be able to negotiate.
Remember, this is the best version you're ever going to see of him.
Right.
By the way, I just want to point out the fact, as a cartoonist, that it's a little ridiculous that Trump has the red tie as usual and Biden has the blue tie. Couldn't Biden have mixed it up like green or purple?
You know what that did?
He wears like the Democrats tend to wear the aquamarine tie. That's what I expected. I didn't expect the blue tie.
I expected Biden to wear a rainbow tie. Didn't happen. But Jake Tapper must have the award for the worst tie ever on
And
television.
Jake Tapper's a very good-looking, well-dressed man normally.
Yeah,
This is not a good choice.
No.
I mean, Jake Tapper has hair that even I could be jealous of.
I actually got into an argument with Jake Tapper's dad.
We're going to continue to
Really?
fight to bring down.
We were having a cartoonist convention in Washington, D.C. Tapper came to speak to us and he got his dad.
So here we go. Here goes Trump.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in.
All right, so
Our
Trump has
military
decided
doesn't
to
respect him. We look like
quadruple
fools in
down on
Afghanistan.
migration
We
and the
didn't stop
border. That's
Israel. It's
really
such
his
a
issue.
horrible thing that
I don't
would
think
never
he's hit
happen.
any
Should've
single
never
issue
happened.
more than that
Broke.
during this debate.
Anybody that
He's
did this
he's
to
made a
Iran,
lot of
they
questions
did
about
this
migration that
to
weren't
the
even about
United States. They
migration.
all passed. Iran was broke.
Yeah.
They had no
Yeah,
money for
it's a
Hamas,
smart move.
Hezbollah.
I'm not saying it's a bad move. I just want to take note of it.
Ukraine
Is this
should
a
never
closing
happen.
comment? I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
confused.
this is the closing comment. We're about a minute and a half from the end.
We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations and gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like. Even from the medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible choice for our soldiers. For our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, they can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves. And they're living. And that's why I had the highest.
I have
approval
no
rate in
idea what the
history of
fuck he's
VA.
talking about.
So all of these things, we're a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate.
All right, I'm going to mute this and then
Super
let's do the after play. Here we go. I'm going to go turn that off.
There he goes.
So
Well,
that was
was-
it. That was it.
That's it.
I'm so disappointed. I'm actually really disappointed in both of them. They had the entire world's audience watching this, and they could not pull a home run. Neither one of them won to me. I mean, yeah, Joe Biden, he's like, you know, like a stuffed animal. I get it. But Trump could have completely won it, and he didn't. And that frustrates me because he's so much better than how he performed tonight. And he was very restrained. He was very demure, but his words did not pop and they didn't make sense. Did he win any brownie points? No, not enough. And that's really frustrating because he normally would be Trump on fire. And this time around, I was bored out of my mind. Not with you guys, but with there's people.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would blame the wine. If it was a boring night, your wine sucks.
I'm
Tell your
having
husband to
pretty
buy a better
decent
bottle next
wine.
time.
I mean, this is Californian, I think, right? But it's
Well,
pretty
it doesn't
good.
mean anything. There's shitty Californian wines. I'm a Frenchman. Remember, the good
I
shit comes
know.
from France.
Well,
I think you're right. I think my number one takeaway from this is it was boring.
Yeah.
It was boring. But you know what?
No-
I'm going to say, guys, I think that's a win for Donald Trump.
Yes.
Why?
Donald
yes.
Trump needed to be boring. He was
Yeah.
told to be boring. He went out there. Look, every election, in my opinion, is always a reaction, an equal and opposite reaction to the president that came before. I mean, every successful election, right? So think about the jittery, weird, jumpy George W. Bush, succeeded by the Spockian, calm Barack Obama. The Spockian, calm Obama succeeded by the manic, jumpy, crazy Donald Trump. Donald Trump succeeded by the boring national grandpa, Joe Biden. I think Donald Trump realizes that that the big brief against him is he brings too much chaos, too much drama. He's too dangerous. And I got to say, look, I'm not voting for him. I've never voted for a Republican. I would never vote. But I got to say, he fucking did exactly what he did what he did what he needed to do, Angie. I think your people should be very happy.
no, I'm bored. I gotta tell you, there was no takeaway for me. What am I gonna talk about on tomorrow's show? I don't even know. And you know what? The people tune in to these things because they want to see Donald Trump explode. You're fired, Joe Biden. I need I would have
You
just
asked the big question. Did this convince, like, are there any Biden voters who watched this tonight and went, wow, Trump's not so bad? I think there are. Are there Trump voters who looked
Really?
at this and said, Biden, okay, yeah, I'm going to take another look? There are not. And that's that's my takeaway. Other than
I think
it
that's
was
right.
boring.
I think that what happened is that there are Democrats who are less scared of Donald Trump than there used to be.
Yeah. Here's my cartoon.
Wow, that's
I'm
big.
drawing for Smirkonish there on CNN, and he buys cartoons. So here's my cartoon for him for tomorrow. If you want to see, don't tell anybody.
Just
But you
put
were
it up.
drawing that shit while we were doing the DMZ.
No. I did
You were
before we went
cheating on the
on.
DMZ America podcast.
He was double timing.
Slut, you and Jill.
Jill, why the pounce on Jill? Is she double timing? I don't know.
She was slutting.
She was asking for money. She was
Let's see
Something
that
to
cartoon
like.
again. Yo.
You want to see it again?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Well, whose fault is that?
Probably Angie's, because she was talking and the Zoom shifted over to her.
Sorry.
All right, here we go. All right, say something, Scott, so I see you.
Uh-oh. CNN
Testing.
sources, Dems concerned about Biden's performance tonight. That's according to David
I should hope
Axelrod.
so.
That is incredible. I mean, if
wow.
that's
Like I
what's
fucking
happening,
told you.
for CNN
CNN
to say that.
Oh,
Come on.
Yeah, no, that's
You
huge.
drew that ahead of time, Scott.
What, this one?
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, I drew it before you and I, before the three of us started doing this
All
thing.
right,
'Cause
good.
But
I don't
look,
want to be up till
Don't
midnight.
cheat on the pod.
But
The
I'm
first
telling
rule.
you, CNN going on and on about Dems being concerned about Biden's performance tonight, that's a telltale. Because remember I said earlier, I said it all depends on whether or not the media is going to cover for him, right? Whether or not they're going to
Yeah.
spin it in a way that makes him look good. They're now not. So
They
that
can't.
tells me
Well,
everything.
they can't. It was bad.
Well, they can. Of course they can.
No,
They
I
can-
mean,
you can.
you can
They have.
sometimes, but you know how it is. It's like if you're going to do dissembling and you're going to lie, you have to have some kind of wiggle room, right? And like
Uh-oh.
this is outside of the range.
I keep taking screenshots from my computer, which is really weird. Dems are saying we have a problem after tonight's performance.
I would say
Who's-
so.
Who's saying that?
It says sources, but David Axelrod is giving David Axelrod, who was part of the Clinton administration,
Yeah,
big
I know that.
Democrat.
Obama, he was
operative.
Obama's big guy.
Yeah, no, I
Yep.
know. I actually know him. Yeah, it's from Chicago.
No, I mean this is what minutes
David
after
Axelrod is
Biden
very
walks off
smart,
the
yeah.
stage. That is, I think that's the story of the night.
That's huge.
They're
That is
gonna
massive.
cream him tomorrow. That's it. I think that's the end of the Joe Biden ride.
All right, so
I didn't.
Oh,
he
here
might
it
get
is,
swapped out at
guys.
the
Here's
convention.
the headline for New York Times. Can you read that?
Biden
Biden's-
struggles in contentious debate with Trump.
Ooh.
New York Times. Do you have WAPO?
Yeah, let me go see what they're saying.
That's
pretty bland.
very big,
What does
guys.
it say? Trump, Biden spar over. Yeah, whatever. That doesn't matter. Okay. Well, it's yeah, I mean, come on. We all saw it. It was rough. It was rough. I mean, Joe Biden needed to do something that he didn't do. I think that's in the end, that's it. Joe and Donald Trump needed to do something. It was that he did do. I mean,
Yeah, he needed to be boring. I know that Angie didn't think so, but here's a
I mean, come on,
analysis from the
it's not
Washington Post.
it's not a MAGA rally. It's a different audience.
Says, given how much Biden prepared for tonight's debate, the president and his advisors are going to be frustrated about how it went. He wasn't able to clearly articulate many of his policies and fumbled over numerous responses. And he missed opportunities to clearly highlight his achievements and contrast them with Trump's record. That's
Scott,
the
who
Washington
was this?
Post.
Oh,
Washington
wow.
Post.
Mhm. Well, is it? Wait, I'm going to go grab my phone. Is there anything from Politico?
Where they're going to. Do we care about Politico anymore?
I
I
do.
mean, seriously. Do you?
I still read it. But no, I mean, everyone, Van Jones is now saying that Dems have a problem. Van Jones.
Wow.
I mean, this
didn't
is
think it was.
big.
I didn't think it was as catastrophic. It's not
But-
catastrophic, but I think it was not good. What does Clovis think?
Clovis, what do you think? Hold on.
Oh, you got Clovis. Wait, where's my babies? Daisy, where are you?
Oh,
Daisy?
Clovis says that
Boo-boo.
Clovis says that Trump won.
Oh, look!
Oh my God. Clovis, look. Look.
Okay, this may be an all-time something on this podcast. That's all.
It's a pet off.
Ted, you may
versus
want to.
dog. Who will win?
I mean, they're more interesting than the two men that just spent like
Oh, that's
2 hours
true.
on stage.
No, I think the early
Clovis
Allegate analysis.
Clovis is a right-wing Republican. You know, whenever I leave the house for any length of time, he likes cable
He goes
TV.
MAGA.
Yeah, well, I've tried everything. I've left NPR, CNN, MSNBC. I hate to admit it, he likes Fox.
He
He's
keeps clicking with his paw.
No, like when I come home, he's still on the couch staring at Fox. He watches television.
Wow.
Yeah, like when I at night, if I watch TV or a movie, he always watches it with great
Aw.
interest. You know,
All
Well,
right.
guys,
So
I'm
there we
like
have
Biden.
it.
He's a mammal. You know,
is this the end of, I mean, seriously now, I
Yes.
guess, I mean, Ted called it better than I did. I don't think it was catastrophic for Biden. It wasn't
Close.
great. You think? Okay. Do you think it's
He's
catastrophic?
done
Because
as of
Newsom
tomorrow.
is,
do you think he'll
Really?
have to start to move towards a switch out at the convention?
Yeah, no, this is the telltale sign. The media is not covering for Biden and his performance, even if it was vanilla and bland, and he said no gaffes and nothing. The immediate message from the New York Times and CNN, his biggest allies, was we have a problem. Biden's performance, no, we can't have him. That's what's happening. I knew this was going to happen, Ted. I knew that they were hoping for him to literally have a heart attack on air.
Another
right?
progressive friend just texted me. It's worse than I imagined, but close to how I imagined.
Ooh, right. So now
I
you're
think
gonna
that's exactly
see.
my take as well.
Really? It's worse?
I mean,
I
I
mean, we
did.
knew
I
it all
really, it's
along.
worse. It's worse. I thought it would be bad, and I built that in. You know how like like the stock market builds in, and it was worse than I expected. I mean, I seriously thought it would be better than this,
Wow.
and I didn't think it
Okay.
would be great. You know that. But
Okay, so now here you're gonna now see the choo-choo train leave Biden and his family. Jill cannot protect him anymore. Everyone sees it. It's on CNN. Every single CNN
another friend of mine,
commentator.
another friend, a progressive friend, I stuck it out. Biden started better, but I think he started shaky, but I think he got better.
I think that's fair.
You're gonna see.
I think that's fair
by-
too, but I think
Yeah.
I don't think it matters because it's the beginning that matters.
Yeah.
If you fuck up, you can fuck up in the last half. No one's watching.
Yep. You can start sweating. You can start picking your nose. You could do all sorts of things. You can even start drinking a beer. Okay.
Totally.
No one's gonna
Maybe
care.
you should.
Right.
Yeah,
But I have not seen, I mean, I'm watching CNN as we speak. I have not seen them pull away from the lower third. Dems are saying we have a problem. So now you know what the message is. Now, this is part of the performance, you guys. This was always to move Biden off the stage. They wanted to embarrass him first to say, yeah, here's our reason. We have to get him out. And this is part of the Hollywood script. So we're going to see now the movements because they still have 2 months until August, right? To get him out of here.
President
Well, they said
Harris.
Newsom was there in, they saw him.
Yes, that's
at-
right.
Oh, yeah.
He's there in Atlanta, but
He's like swarming around like a
Oh, yeah.
hawk.
every time he sees
Like a
Biden, it's like,
vulture is
how you
more
feeling?
like it.
Vulture, that's what I meant. Yes, I was trying to think of the right bird.
How you
Uh,
feeling?
Look, I
Wow.
mean, look, it was a bad performance. Aggressive panic for Democrats after Biden's performance tonight.
Who's
This
that?
is CNN saying this.
Oh wow.
Wow.
What
Wow.
is going on, yo? I mean,
Well,
this
we all
is
saw it.
wild.
We all saw it, Angie. It was
No, Ted, different. I've been seeing it for years. You guys are seeing it for the first time.
Now.
Yes.
No.
Scott and I have been talking about Biden being done for a long time, right, Scott? We have been.
No, and we have been taking a load of crap for saying it. We said it early.
from all our buds, all the cartoonists are pissed at us.
Yeah.
Of course, but now they have to convince Democrats to say, you saw that, guys. It wasn't
You know what?
good.
We saw this shit coming a million miles away. You
Yeah.
did not have to be a fucking genius to see it. I mean, obviously it was fucked up all along. They never should have, look, let's listen to Joe Biden himself. When he said, I'm a one-term president, you know what?
Yeah.
He was right. He was right. And he should have handed the baton.
Yes.
He should have chosen frankly, a better vice president. But whoever his vice president was, Clovis, your dog, whatever, hand the baton, let him run, right? There's no other choice. I mean, the dude was 78 years old when he became president. He's going to be 82 right after election day. His birthday is in November. You know, I mean, come on, get real. There's never been anyone who's run for president when they were anywhere close to this old before. It's
And
absurd.
not just that, but when he said,
And he's an old
elected,
81, you know?
he is. And when he said that he would, this is going to be my one term, and the presumption, if not the literal wording, was that I'm going to get rid of Donald Trump, and then I'm going to step aside and let the new generation come forward.
Yeah, I'm here to take out the trash, right? That's what he basically was saying.
Right.
And wow, what a night. And
It is what a night, but
now he's the
remember-
trash.
Remember,
Yeah.
this is a big production, including the aftermath, including the post-debate commentary. All of this was scripted, and we know that. We do on some level. We just didn't know which direction it was going to go. We weren't sure if the media
Now,
was
that
going to
said,
cover
Biden
or if they were
definitely
going to go
did
after him.
but Biden did do his best. I mean, I think, you know,
Not
he
good enough.
eventually got his
but he
sea
did
legs under
his
him.
best.
But you're right. The first 20 minutes are so important, and because nobody, people were tuning out, or they just weren't. I mean, look at us. We were talking over it more and more as the
Yeah,
debate
yeah.
progressed because
It
we were
was
getting
so
bored.
boring. It was so
Because
boring.
we're Americans, you know, like,
No, that's
yeah,
not
like the
why.
Nirvana song, entertain us, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I could have used some snacks. That would have been way better. I needed some snacks.
Not just wine, but snacks.
I won't lie, I killed an entire bottle of orange wine.
Oh my God, that's
I could have killed 2. Holy shit. All right, guys.
all right.
I think
Well,
that was that's it. I think that's it for us. That's it for Joe Biden, certainly.
It really is.
But we will see, and we'll break it down tomorrow on the show. All right, I'll post
Can't
this shortly. And this was really
Right.
fun.
Angie,
Yeah.
thank you.
We got to drink on air again. Let's do that all the time.
For sure. Angie, come back anytime. And
Bye,
I'll
guys.
see you
Thank
tomorrow
you.
on the final countdown on
Now we
Radio
got that show
Sputnik,
going too.
Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. till 12 noon on X
Yes.
Spaces and Rumble. Scott, frequent guest. All right, bye everybody. Talk to you later.
Good night.
Bye.
All right.